Picture this. You hop in the car after a busy day of work. You punch your address in to Waze or whatever app that you're using to avoid traffic and connect your phone so you can play some music. All the while, your car's tracking every move you make. According to Counterpoint Research, 2 out of every 3 cars sold feature embedded connectivity. And this is expected to grow to almost 100% by 2030. And a Salesforce survey finds 65% of drivers are unfamiliar with the concept of a connected car. Internet-oriented nonprofit Mozilla spent over 600 hours researching various car brands' privacy and their practices. Here with some of the takeaways. We've got one of the authors of that report, Jen Caltrider, who is the Mozilla Product Director of Privacy Not Included. Great to have you here on the show with us, Jen. I mean, what was the most astounding finding from the hours of research, hundreds of hours of research, that you put towards this study?
Well, the most astounding thing is that every car that people buy these days is bad for privacy. There are no good options for new cars for privacy for somebody who wants to go out and buy a car and cares about that. That was really disturbing.
Which of all of the vehicles that you studied was the worst at protecting privacy?
It was really hard to pick a worst because they were all pretty bad. Tesla, of course, raised a lot of eyebrows, but were they the worst? It's hard to say. I mean, Nissan said in their privacy policy that you had to consent to, they could collect information on your sexual activity. Kia said they could collect information on your sex life. Others talked about genetic information. So it's really hard to pick one. I think across the board, connected cars are all bad at privacy.
And so how can the connected cars, because, I mean, based on those surveys that we were just rattling off, it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. How can they become better about protection of privacy?
Well, I mean, when you think about privacy, we're going to have to give up data in our connected world. It's just how it works. And what you want to see is a product that collects data only collect the data it needs to give you the service. So for a car, you want it to collect only the data it needs to get you from point A to point B safely, and then use it only for that. No other reason. Unfortunately, that's not what's happening with cars. Cars are collecting an insane amount of data. Some of it they use to get us from point A to point B safely, but a lot of it they use to make money off of us, to share for targeted advertising purposes, to sell to data brokers, where insurance companies can scoop it up and raise our rates if it looks like we're driving poorly. And then there's the questions about, there's cameras in the car, there's microphones in the car, there's sensors, so they know how many people are in the car and how fast you're going and how hard you're braking and what you're listening to. And all that can be gathered to create these inferences about us that know, things like our intelligence, our abilities, where we go for dinner every Thursday night. And so it's all a big problem, and the solutions are way behind.
And so with that in mind, what are some tips for people who are trying to take it upon themselves to protect their privacy while engaging with a very connected, very highly technological driving and motor vehicle experience?
Yeah. So I bought a car last year as I was doing this research, and it was a scary proposition. But a couple of things that I did, and again, I kind of recommend these tips with the caveat that they're not all going to protect all of your privacy. You just can't do that with a car these days. But a couple of things you can do are don't download and install the app. It means you're going to give up some nice features like being able to remotely lock and unlock your car or start your car. But it eliminates tracking. Don't connect your phone to your car. And I know that's crazy because you're like, well, how am I going to play my tunes or do my navigation? But that's a privacy choice that you're going to have to make. I choose not to connect my phone to my car. But again, it's not a great option. And unfortunately, none of the tips I give people are great options. And so I think the best tip I can give people right now is to call your elected officials and say, this is wrong. Our privacy is more important than car companies' bottom lines, and every connected big tech company's bottom lines. And we need a strong consumer-focused federal privacy law, which we don't have in the United States. And so pushing elected officials to make that happen would be maybe the best place consumers could start.
Absolutely. Jen, while we have you here, just last, it's summertime. We've got a lot of people traveling. Perhaps they're going to be renting a vehicle that has some of these features in it. I mean, mean, I know I've been quick to say, all right, let me make sure that I can pair it with Bluetooth and make sure that I'm connected to, you know, any type of AirPlay that might be taking place with that vehicle because I have a long drive ahead of me. What do people need to be remembering specifically for those who are renting a car out there?
Yeah, car rentals are really tricky because not only is that data potentially getting shared to the car rental company or the car dealer, the car company, but the next person that uses the car could see it. And so again, I recommend don't connect your phone to your car. You know, do it the old-fashioned way. You know, just keep your phone off of Bluetooth and unconnected and navigate and listen to your music that way. If you do connect it, do your very best to wipe everything that's connected off of the car, and that can be tricky. You know, you can try and futz around with the settings and find the way to delete it, and then you just have to hope that it actually deletes everything. It might not. So I think your best bet when you rent a car is just stay disconnected, do it the old-fashioned way, keep your phone, you know, and you know, have a navigator over there, hopefully to do that.
Yeah. All right, whipping out the old paper maps here. Jen Caltrider, who is the Mozilla Product Director of Privacy Not Included. Jen, great to see you here today. Thanks so much for the tips.
Thank you.